10 rags to riches billionaires. 10. Oprah Winfrey. Today, Forbes estimates that America's favourite talk show host Oprah Winfrey has a net worth of around $2.9 billion. But she came from a very humble beginning. As a child growing up with her grandmother in Mississippi in the 1950s, she wore potato sacks because clothing did not always fit into the budget of her poverty-stricken family. At the age of 6, Winfrey was sent to live with her mother in a Milwaukee boarding house where she endured years of sexual and physical abuse by her cousins. By 14, she had broken free from the torment and run away to live with her dad in Nashville, where she began to pave the way to success. Before the age of 20, she became the first black female news anchor on Nashville's WLAC-TV. And by the age of 29, she had moved to Chicago to work for an AM talk show that would later be converted to The Oprah Winfrey Show. It was the success of the long-running daytime talk show, along with her production company Harpo, which placed Oprah second on the Forbes 2016 list of America's richest self-made women. 9. Chuck Feeney. Can you imagine going from rags to riches and then giving away your fortune? Well, that's exactly what Chuck Feeney did. Born in New Jersey during the Great Depression, Feeney came from a modest background of blue-collar Irish-American parents. Feeney graduated high school in 1949 and later served as a US Air Force radio operator during the Korean War. That's when he kick-started his career, selling duty-free liquor to US naval personnel at Mediterranean ports in the 1950s. In fact, he made his billions as a co-founder of the Duty-Free Shoppers Group, which pioneered the concept of duty-free shopping. And yet he never desired to keep his fortune, and gave it away in secret for many years, until a business dispute resulted in his identity being revealed in 1997. It is estimated that over the course of his life, he has given away more than $8 billion, helping fund hospitals, universities and other groups. Now 85 years old, he is left with around $2 million to live out the rest of his life. Not broke by any standard, but a modest amount in comparison to the billions he has given away. 8. Moed Altrad. From Bedouin tribe member to businessman, Moed Altrad's success story is like no other. Moed's father, the leader of a Bedouin tribe in the Syrian desert, raped his mother, and it was this brutal sexual assault that led to Moed's birth in 1948. Sadly, during childbirth she died, and his father refused to take care of him, leaving him in the care of his grandmother. She banned him from attending school in Raqqa, the city that is now the capital of ISIS, believing he was destined to become a shepherd. Moed attended school anyway, excelled in exams, and down the line managed to move to France and attend university, despite not knowing any French. While living off one meal a day, he earned himself a PhD in computer science and worked for some leading French companies. He saved up his money and eventually bought a failing scaffolding company, which he transformed into one of the world's leading manufacturers of scaffolding and cement mixers, Altrad Group. These days, the once poor Bedouin tribe member has a net worth of over $1 billion. 7. Do-won and Jin-Suk Chang. Do-won Chang moved from South Korea to California with his wife Jin-Suk in 1981, amid a chaotic time in their home country. Martial law had been lifted that year, following the assassination of military dictator Park Chung-hee. When they got to California, Do-won juggled 3 jobs in an attempt to save money. He washed dishes in a coffee shop for $3 an hour, worked at a gas station, and started up a small office cleaning business. Meanwhile, Jin-Suk worked as a hairdresser. Following 3 years of hard work, the couple managed to pool $11,000 in savings, and in 1984 they opened a small apparel store called Fashion 21 in downtown Los Angeles. Fashion 21 hit $700,000 in its first year and was so popular that the couple opened a new store every 6 months and changed its name to Forever 21. Now an international 790-store empire, the combined net worth of the couple is a staggering $3 billion. 6. Larry Ellison. Born in 1944 in the Bronx to a single mother, Ellison was given up for adoption before being raised by his working-class aunt and uncle in Chicago. He had a tough childhood growing up, only finding out that he was adopted at the age of 12 and being repeatedly told he was good for nothing by his adopted father. Ellison dropped out of college twice. first from the University of Illinois after his adoptive mother died, then the University of Chicago, before moving to California and working odd jobs for the next 8 years. Having developed an interest in computer science, he became a self-taught computer programmer and founded his own company, Software Development Labs, with his business partner Robert Miner in 1977. By 1986, Ellison's idea of a lifetime, the Oracle Relation Database, had gone public, and one of its first customers was the CIA. Their product later became the most popular database ever sold and catapulted Ellison to billionaire status. His current net worth is an eye-watering $48.7 billion. 5. Howard Schultz. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz came from a very ordinary upbringing. The first in his family to graduate from college, Schultz grew up in a New York housing project in the 1950s and got a college education through an athletic scholarship. Following his graduation, he went to work for Xerox and was quickly promoted to a full sales representative. In 1982, he joined as the director of marketing for Starbucks, which at the time only had 60 shops. 5 years later, after leaving the company and opening his own coffee shop called Il Giornale, the original Starbucks management sold its Starbucks retail unit to Schultz and Il Giornale for $3.8 million. Schultz changed the name of his store to Starbucks and aggressively expanded the Starbucks coffee chain to more than 24,000 outlets worldwide. Schultz's net worth is now a whopping $3 billion. 4. Leonardo Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio was born in Milan, Italy in 1935 to a very poor family. His father died 5 months before his birth, and as his mother was unable to support him financially, she gave him away to an orphanage shortly after childbirth. He would later work in a factory making molds of auto parts and eyeglass frames, where he lost part of his finger. Still, he remained undeterred, and at the age of 23, Del Vecchio opened his own molding shop, which expanded to become the world's largest maker of sunglasses and prescription eyewear, including the brands Ray-Ban and Oakley. According to Forbes, he is the second richest man in Italy with an estimated net worth of $18.7 billion. 3. Roman Abramovich. Multi-billionaire business tycoon and Chelsea Football Club owner Roman Abramovich had a tough start in life. After being orphaned at the age of 2, he was raised by an uncle in a subarctic region of northern Russia. While being a student at the Moscow Auto Transport Institute in 1987, he started a small company producing plastic toys, which eventually helped him found an oil business and make a name for himself within the industry. Later, as the sole trader of the Sibnet company, he sought the help of Russian business oligarch Boris Berezovsky to complete a merger that made it the 4th biggest oil company in the world. The company was sold to state-run gas titan Gazprom in 2005 for $13 billion. In 2003, Abramovich acquired Chelsea Football Club and now has a net worth of $8.5 billion. 2. George Soros. George Soros was 13 years old in March 1944 when Nazi Germany occupied Hungary. With the help of his mother and father, who were non-observant Jews, Soros posed as the godson of an employee of the Hungarian Ministry of Agriculture to stay safe during the Nazi occupation. In 1947, Soros escaped the country to live with relatives in London. He put himself through the London School of Economics, working as a waiter and railway porter. Following his graduation, Soros worked at a souvenir shop before getting a job as a banker in New York City. On September 16, 1992, his famous bet against the British pound during a currency crisis in the UK made him a profit of $1 billion and gave him the nickname the man who broke the Bank of England. His bet ultimately cost the country $4.1 billion. His current net worth is in the region of $24.9 billion, making him one of the 30 richest people in the world. 1. J.K. Rowling. The Harry Potter franchise has become a worldwide success, and J.K. Rowling is now worth an estimated $1 billion. But the journey to success wasn't an easy one. In the early 1990s, Rowling had just divorced from the Portuguese television journalist Jorge Arantes and was living on welfare in Edinburgh with a dependent child. She completed most of the first Harry Potter book in cafes, as walking around with her daughter Jessica was the best way to get her to sleep. After being rejected from 12 different publishing houses, she was given the green light from London publishing house Bloomsbury. In 1997, Bloomsbury published The Philosopher's Stone with an initial print run of just 1,000 copies, but soon after, Harry Potter mania took off. The The franchise is now collectively worth an estimated $25 billion, including book sales, movies and toys. So there you have 10 rags to riches billionaires. What was your favourite rags to riches story? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, we can guarantee you'll like this one too.